The first part to filming a podcast, we have to do a thumbnail.
Okay.
So it means we have to pose.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
Okay.
Hi guys, welcome to podcast number 4. I am obviously not filming from my apartment in Paris. And actually some of you guys noticed this and complimented the background. It's my mom's beautiful decor. And today we're doing a podcast with my mom. Are you excited?
Very excited.
Okay. I think this is the first time that you're on camera.
Except for your Lingoda video.
That was an ad that just got. Okay, so we have some topics. I have some questions for you.
Okay.
And then thank you to everyone as well who submitted questions on Instagram. We love it. And then they were really good questions. Jean also had some questions because I was like, Jean, what would you ask my mom, like, about me, about everything? And his first question was,
oh gosh,
what was Arielle like as a child?
Aw, Arielle was extremely serious and very hardworking.
Okay, Mom, please get to the good stuff. She was cuckoo.
No.
Oh, the baby Zoe. Oh,
come here, sweet. No. Okay.
Oh no.
She was such a tough little girl. Her grandpa used to make her do chores in the yard, and Arielle would literally carry rocks from point A to point B all day long to make her grandpa happy. And then she was so compassionate towards nature. One time there was a cricket who I think she accidentally like stepped on or something. It wasn't dead though. And then she tried to pick it up and put it back in the garden where its mother would find it.
I just remember that.
Yeah, it was, and you were very upset that the cricket might not get reunited with its family. Yeah. So yes. And you were, yeah.
Ma, did you know that I would leave? Did you think that I would leave Canada?
No.
You didn't think so?
No, I didn't think. You were very strong and independent, that's for sure. You're the first kid in kindergarten to be able to put your own shoes on and like do your own snowsuit up, and all the other parents were so envious because you just dressed yourself and you were gone, right? Very independent, so that was a clue that you'd probably leave the country. But no, you're very family oriented, so I never thought that you would leave Canada because you love all of your family and always wanted to be part of family events.
I know, I think that when I first moved, that was the hardest. Because like even like big family events like Christmas and Easter, like I thought about that for so long that I would not be at those events and stuff. It was very sad.
And even now when you come home, you always want to see your extended family. So we always have a big party with like 30 people to have everybody see you. And
yeah. But do you know why? You know when I seriously started to think that I would move?
When
I was working in Ottawa and I had a government job. And I remember this, they offered me a job after I graduated, and then I was like, I'll only have 2 weeks to see the places I want to see. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that really shocked me, that after graduation you'd start a career, and then you don't have the freedom to do things you want. Because honestly, school is so long. You work your whole life in school, okay? Like, you go from childhood to adult, and you're just in school, and you never have the time to go and do things or the money to go and do things.
Right.
So yeah, that really helped me make up my mind.
The only thing is like, and you say this all the time, in Canada we only get 2 weeks vacation. Maybe in your first year of work, but you get weeks added. Most people I know have 4 to 6 weeks vacation. So, and then you add legal holidays and it's more like 5 to 7 weeks vacation.
Yes. I know.
It's not so bad.
No, I know, but that's just what it made me think of.
Yeah.
When I was deciding. Sure. You know what I realized, Mom? We didn't even talk about who you are.
Okay.
You need to tell people who you are.
Okay.
I forgot.
My name is Janine.
No! This is my mom, Janine.
Yes.
And take it away.
Okay, so my family's been in Canada since like the late 1800s. So very Canadian. Surprising that my daughter has left. And 3 kids, very busy family. Huge extended family on one side, but I'm an only child on my own side. Lifelong teacher, loved my career, but always had a desire to be a real estate agent. So in my retirement, have pursued a career in real estate, which is new and exciting. Love our beach, our ocean, love gardening, love my puppy Zoe.
My mom's always been a busybody, always.
That means someone who looks into other people's business. You mean a busy person? A busybody is like nosy.
No.
I'm not a nosy person.
No, okay, I feel like you always have everything going on. You always have book club, organizing parties, sports, you know.
Oh, I totally forgot. Tennis is a huge part of my life. Love tennis of every type. 3 to 5 times a week tennis.
That's so good. And it's nice because you can play outside too, like in the winter.
Yeah,
You don't get it.
We play this unique sport called platform tennis, which is not pickle and not tennis, but it's like a cross between tennis and squash, but you play it outdoor on a raised platform. And it's heated so you don't slip in the winter, and you're allowed to play off the screens the way you would play off the walls in squash. Maybe you're going to videotape some of that, and then you can
Show them.
I
was thinking about it. It's true that when I come home though, I don't like to, like now I have a little undercover video that I'm filming, but I don't film a lot when I'm home. Because I just want to enjoy the moment.
Yeah.
You know?
It's hard to take up your travel time to film.
Yeah. So, tell us, because you've been to France, you went to the south, you went to Paris,
Yes.
you went to the west.
Loire, Paris, and the south. And Provence, really, which is the south, right?
Okay, so okay, 2 questions. What was your favorite part about France? Your favorite?
That's really hard because every region is so different, so it's really hard to pinpoint, you know. However, I'm going to probably say the south, like the Côte d'Azur, because you were with us during that part, so that was pretty special. And the old villages that we visited, like the old walled cities, they were so beautiful. And the ocean is fantastic, or not the ocean, the sea, the Mediterranean, I guess. Yeah. Like it's beautiful, and it's a unique swimming experience. So I
have vivid memories because I did that part of their trip with them of the beach, of the stone beach, and like my dad and I crawling out of the water. If I can find the picture, I'll put it on the screen. But I have vivid memories.
It was very funny. It's hard to get out of the water. The rocks are so bad.
Yeah, that was nice.
But the water was beautiful.
And you guys also visited Aix-en-Provence. That's where I did my school.
Yeah, Aix-en-Provence, and spent a lot of time in Loire, and we climbed Mount Ventoux. Not entirely because it's massive, but it was a fantastic experience too. And the wine was great in Loire, and I felt it was very reminiscent of Ontario, like the plants, the temperature. They had evergreens the way we do. I felt very at home in Loire, like it's almost parallel to Ontario.
Yeah, it's true that when you go from Loire to somewhere like Paris or even the south, the landscape is very different.
Hugely.
That's why I think you'd like Bretagne. For anyone who's been to Bretagne, it's even more green, open spaces, which I think is similar to
Canada. Yeah.
Okay, and then what's the biggest difference you notice between France and Canada?
Well, the beautiful old architecture, obviously, in France is unique. The food, actually, I'm surprised. You've heard me sort of complain.
I feel the same way about it. I
think when we're in restaurants, anyways, like we weren't cooking for ourselves, but when we were in restaurants, it was very meat heavy. So like all of our entrees were like a lot of meat, more than I could possibly eat. So I would leave the meat, usually some form of carb or legume, but not fresh vegetables, not fresh salad. Like salad was hard to come by. And so we eat a lot of salad, a lot of fresh vegetables, and it really wasn't on the menu. So that's one thing I missed, and I was very happy to get home and eat salads.
Yeah, when you mentioned that to me, like I remember when we went to Aix, like probably 5 years ago, I remember we went to a really nice, very cute, very good restaurant, and you ordered a lamb shank. Is that what it was?
Maybe, yeah, probably.
Anyways, it was beautiful. It was very delicious, but it was like just a big piece of meat and something like potatoes with it.
Yeah.
And like a really good sauce. It was very good. But yeah, it's very, very meat and carb based. I think about that all the time now when I go to eat at a French restaurant. I think about how what you say about it.
Like lots of legumes too. There's lots of beans and things like that, lentils and stuff. But
yeah.
They don't count as vegetables.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, and the people? What do you think of the people?
Good, yeah.
You don't have any bad experiences? Because a lot of the time when I have a couple videos of like...
No bad experiences. No.
You guys pause. Can I just heat up my pasta?
Yeah.
I'm actually starving. Can I please just...
What are you going to do?
This is Olivia.
Hi, I'm just going to heat up my food.
Okay.
It's nice to have you.
Follow my YouTube channel.
I'll link Olivia's YouTube channel down below. She's also starting her little YouTube, but and I should say that's right, not little YouTube. I had a comment about that we should not belittle what we're doing, but yes, Olivia also is starting YouTube, but she is doing more of a Toronto.
That is correct, because I don't live in Paris.
More of a Toronto, a little girly pop Toronto channel.
Thank you, Arielle.
No, thank you, Olivia.
No, thank you. It's lovely seeing you all. I will be leaving now.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Okay, bye. Do you want to know what Dad's question to you was?
What?
It's not exciting. He goes, I was asking my dad 2 for questions, and he goes, what is the importance of doing things together and staying connected? I was like, okay, Dad.
Well, I mean, that's an obvious answer, but it's true. Now, what worries me about you living abroad is the more time you spend apart and you're building relationships with other people in meaningful ways, and then our relationship, or your relationship with any of us, is, becomes more fragile, and you build relationships there, we build relationships here, and if we don't keep seeing each other several times a year...
Okay,
then...
you know why I don't agree with that?
Okay.
Okay, here's my comment on that.
Yeah, we sort of had this conversation a little bit.
What?
I think you have explained your point of view to me before.
Ever since I have moved to France, okay, I have used probably 90% of my vacation time to come home.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like very much a priority for me to come home.
Yes.
So...
But if you didn't come home,
yeah,
that's what I'm saying. If you didn't come home, then we'd lose touch with who you are, and you'd lose touch with who we are, because everybody's growing and continuing in their lives and changing, and you only remember them the way you were with them before. So, like, you're here this time witnessing my real estate career, so now you know what my life is like, and now the way instead of the way it was before. Right?
Yeah, and I'm not a good texter. I am probably the worst texter, so I don't.
And you're not even stellar at like.
Video calls.
You're not even good at that.
Yeah, but that is not a you or anything. Like, even Myra, my best friend, I will call her once every 3 months and we'll talk for 5 hours. But
I know sometimes I see on your videos that you talk to me for like 2 hours.
You'll
talk to Grandma for 2 hours. You'll talk to Myra for 5 hours, all in the same day.
I know.
And you're like on video calls for literally 10 hours straight.
But that's just how I do it.
Horrible. Horrible.
That's just the best way. Because, I don't know, I'm not a big...
Well, it interrupts your life in a huge way. I worked with a person who, her husband and her were separated by space because of her job. Mm-hmm. And so they tried the video call thing. It did not work because you have to like sit down and devote yourself to a video call. Yeah. And everything in your life gets put on hold.
Pause it, everything else, yeah.
So her and her husband came up with a method. They cooked dinner together every night. So
that's nice.
They'd both just have their camera set up in the kitchen and they would just cook dinner.
That's so nice.
And talk while they're cooking. And that way their talk time was also functional time, and it felt more... less like an interruption and more like a part of your life.
More like, spending time together. Yeah, even, like, I just don't, I can't do it often. And even Jean, when I went to Greece, we talked quickly before bed.
Yeah.
But I never spent hours talking to anybody.
Yeah, no, it's true.
I just like to be in the moment.
In person is so much different. Even when I go to the cottage and Dad is in Toronto, like, we minimally speak because... It just feels like it's separate from your life.
It's like a burden to do.
Separate from your life.
Okay, all right, next question. Oh my god, let's go to the Instagram questions.
All right.
Okay, so the first question, which I think is so funny. Jean always submits questions. Jean has a notification on his phone. Anytime I post on Instagram or YouTube, he, boom, immediately.
Ah, so sweet.
10 seconds after I posted, because
my gosh.
I post the question thing on Instagram, he goes, does your mom like me?
Aw, we love Jean. We are so grateful that he's in Arielle's life because he is such a kind, caring person. We don't worry about her at all anymore because we know he's taking care of her. Yeah. Not that she needs taken care of, but, if she doesn't come home at night, he's on it.
Yeah. And even if I'm sick and stuff, he's...
so good-natured, like, so much fun, loves all the things we love to do. Loves to play games and be active and enjoys a little fine wine.
The very first thing that I ever thought about Jean, like the first day I met him at a basketball practice. He's David's friend. Do you remember David?
Yes.
David, my basketball friend.
I do.
He's Jean is David's friend, and David brought Jean to basketball practice anyways. The very first thing I said about Jean after like the whole practice, I was like, Jean has the nicest heart.
Aww.
Like, it's just, it comes across so obviously.
Yeah.
When
and
you
so
meet him.
easygoing and patient and tolerant. Puts up with everything. Okay.
I can confirm. Okay, good. So we like that. Good. I'm glad.
And he likes wearing Toronto gear.
That's so funny. Any opportunity he gets, ma. And even you guys notice, because in the summer he wears his Blue Jays jersey all the time. All the time. Over Christmas, when there were sales and stuff, he bought like a Toronto hat. And I'm like, John, this is the equivalent of going to Paris and buying like a I Heart Paris t-shirt. He's just like, he loves wearing Toronto merch. Because someday we will, hopefully, move.
That'd be fantastic.
Our goal is to open a crepe shop, a bakery or crepe shop, to bring like a bit of French cuisine and culture to Canada. But
That's fantastic.
But Ma, this is always going to be my two main issues with that. You can tell me what you think. Is
Yes.
Number one, the public transportation is minimal in even a big city like Toronto. I don't have a driver's license and I don't want to drive. I like that in Paris, or really in most French cities, you can walk anywhere. You have a grocery store 5 minutes away. You do not need to have a car or driver's license. And every time I come home, I like, unless someone drives me or whatever, you feel stranded.
Yes, and it's because we live in a semi-urban neighborhood. So we live a 10-minute bus ride from the subway or a 30-minute walk to the subway. Well, 30-minute walk is not really that functional for everyday living, but you can easily live right on the subway line, and you would be...
It's so expensive though.
The subway?
To live on the subway line?
Oh, to live on the subway line.
Okay, you're right. That's like a happy compromise, fine. But it's just, even then, Toronto has two main metro lines, which means everybody in this city that literally lives in the city, unless you're on this metro line, you have to walk for an hour or take a bus, and it's just like, it's so...
There's a few more now. Like, there's actually kind of three. So there's two that go north. So it's more like one across and sort of two going north.
Okay, fine. But that's a struggle. And
then
then
you want to be on the Bloor line. I know your personality. You'd want to be on the Bloor line. You want to be with like the street culture. You don't want to be up in Vaughan by Wonderland. You want to be...
Yeah. And what I think about this a lot, actually, because I moved to France when I was... I did my first exchange, like my Grenoble experience. I did that when I was maybe 21 or 22. And then I moved there pretty much after I graduated. So I spent all of my adult life, like my free adult life in Paris. Or not in Paris, in France. So I have all of these positive things to say because that's kind of when I was able. So I don't actually know what it would be like to live in Toronto.
Yeah.
It could be great. I just don't.
Yeah.
I don't know what that would be like.
Right. Like, I'm helping a family right now try to find a house in Toronto. They're moving from Europe to Toronto. So they have the same concern. They're used to living in an environment where they can walk to everything, and they have great, like, bistro, street culture, lots of, coffee shops and places to go and live outside of your home, not live inside your home. So there are there are numerous neighborhoods in Toronto that offer that. Like, and so I see you living in those, like, just right along where you can walk to all of your shopping, all of your entertainment. The only thing you'd have to...
Even sports. Like, I do a lot of sports. I could walk to the gym. I could walk to the basketball gym.
Yeah.
I would need that.
The only thing is, like, because it is a bigger sprawling city, so if you want to go to the lake or you want to go hiking, then you might have to take... No, you'd have to take a bus. A bus.
Ma, please, we're looking at trying to go to the science center.
Oh, that's crazy far away. It's a big city.
Yeah.
Geographically.
Okay, so that's my first concern. My second concern is the food.
Okay.
In a country like France, okay, first of all, you're surrounded by the EU, which means the food is all regulated in a way that it's not in Canada. So you can import things from Spain and know that it is regulated in the same way that it is in France. And the food regulations in Europe are more stringent, is that the word?
Stringent?
More stringent than Canada. It's actually a huge political debate at the moment because we import foods from Canada and the farmers aren't allowed to use the same sort of
pesticides and stuff, or GMO stuff.
Yeah. So anyways, I like that the food is less, like, there's less
Processed.
chemicals, there's less process, and things are more seasonal. So you come, like, for example, Alex bought strawberries and blueberries. Okay, it's winter. Those are not seasonal vegetables to Canada, and you taste them, and they don't have the same flavor
Nope.
as in the summertime when you have, strawberries and berries from France.
Yeah.
So that's my main thing. And in France, Jean and I eat only organic. And organic does not mean more expensive. It's actually less expensive. Like, if you buy mostly vegetables, you are paying cheaper for the organic food than you are for non-organic food. So I don't like that in Canada. You don't have that same...
Right. No, I agree. Like in Italy and France, the fruits and vegetables, we just came back from a vacation in Colombia, actually. And the fruit and vegetables, they were amazing. I don't think I recall a time when a tomato tasted that good, or even a piece of fruit like a peach. We haven't had good peaches in Canada, I feel like, in years. Like, there's something off, and we had this unripe peach down there, and it was delicious. Like, I agree, but partly it's our climate. Like, we don't have a great growing season. We don't have a lot of sun. We have a lot of sun, but not like the south of France or Italy.
I haven't seen the sun once since I got here.
And so even our summer vegetables, they don't saturate as much sun. And in Canada, you'd be safe organically to eat like root vegetables and apples. But once you start trying to eat more interesting fruits, like they're not, their season is like 2 or 3 weeks, and that's it. And even then, because they don't get as much sun or have as many, maybe the same minerals in the soil, they don't taste as good. I know that.
So those are my two main... But
your sweet potatoes here are better than your sweet potatoes over there, probably.
You think that, but you import them from the EU countries, so they taste good. No, I don't know. Those are my two main issues right now, especially the food one. But, there's a lot of pros of living in Canada. Like, the very first thing I noticed, I went for a run 2 days ago, and even in areas where there's houses, it feels open, and there's trees everywhere, and the air feels cleaner, and the houses are beautiful. And I don't know, it's much...
I was going to say that earlier when you said what's the difference between France and Canada in my experience. And even though like the architecture and the quaintness of those old towns is beautiful, and people take such care of their flowers and their every part of their homes. And so it's precious and lovely, but they're tiny and they're right on the street, and everything is stone. That I did notice that in Paris. Yeah. Everything is stone. And I miss the green space. I missed the freshness of green and the oxygen you get from it, and that and the cleanliness in a way of it, because nature absorbs all the dirt and dust, whereas in France it's very...
And I don't think you realize that until you...
Yeah. I found it charming to holiday, but I want to live in a place that is surrounded by green, right?
I feel the same. So yeah, I don't know. It's a future plan for sure to move back to Canada. So moving on. Next question we have from Kareem. How do you manage...
Next question. Can I just make a coffee?
Yeah. We're going to go soon. We have 20 minutes. Is that good? 20 minutes okay?
Give me like 30 seconds.
Is 20 minutes good for you though, Arielle?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, we're almost done, right?
Ma, the first step to YouTube, turn off your phone. No!
Look at everybody on their phones.
Okay, we're waiting for you to finish.
Wow.
Do you see how pale I look?
Let me give you some color.
No! No!
Should I get the tiger bomb?
No! Olivia! Oh my god.
Talk about medicine. Talk about sick culture. Everyone's been sick here, and
Olivia loves to give her 2 cents. Ma. Olivia, go.
Dad's coming upstairs now.
No! Oh no!
This is why I can't work on
Dad,
this
shut up, you're
either.
filming.
We're never gonna finish this. Dad, you have 2 seconds to come say hi.
Dad, you look ridiculous.
Yo, people!
Oh no.
Oh my god.
Happening.
Dad, it was better when you were in the basement.
Okay, thank you so much.
After that brief intermission, we're back to our questions. So, we have a question from Kareem who says, how do you manage to maintain a friendly relationship when you live abroad? Arielle. I think we kind of talked about this. That
we visit each other.
Yes.
You gotta visit each other. And our dog is very needy still. Like, she's 15 and she's lovely, but her health is a little bit weak, so we can't visit for as long as we want to, and that's tough, because if we're freer of obligations, we could visit you for like a month. We wouldn't stay with you for a month. That would be horrible. But we would, drop in.
Yeah.
We wouldn't upset your life like that.
Okay, no, it would not upset my life. But Yes, right now they can't really visit me because of the dog situation, but I come home literally every chance.
Once or twice a year.
And it's not even just me. Jean at this point, like, also is looking at the flights for me. He's like, oh, did you see this? There's a deal on flights. Oh, da, 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 da. So, yes, that is out. Excellent. Thank you, Cream. Okay, this one, I'm sorry, I only have your username. It is AKI Paju, Aki Paju. And so she says, your mother has a wonderful child. Oh my God. Thank you. She must be very proud of you. Does she have any concerns regarding you? And it got cut off. I think they can only have a certain amount of questions, but I think the question is, does she have any concerns regarding
You living in France, maybe?
Yeah, your safety, you living in France. Do you have any concerns?
Not a ton. My concern is that if you never come home, that we're always going to have a more distant relationship. I do see like people who over time have been separated by continents, and it does erode things over time.
Yeah. Actually, for the first time, Alex, who's my brother, he turned to me in the car the other day and he said, Arielle, how are our kids going to do a road trip to Florida? Like, that's what we did with our cousins when we were younger. So he's like, Arielle, when are you coming home? How are we going to do this road trip with our children? And like, obviously we don't have children, but I was like, even Alex is thinking about it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It really matters. So I think over time, I worry if you stay there forever, it's going to be a different kind of relationship, like still full of love and joy and all that, but not the same. And, grandchildren or cousins, that's a huge issue, because the cousins growing up together close is so special and so much fun. Other than that, that's the big one. Mm-hmm. Other than that, I don't have any real concerns about you living in France at all. Before, you had a hard time breaking into that sort of society because of the paperwork and the visas and like not being overlooked or not being offered positions, not even being allowed to work because you weren't French.
Yeah.
But now that you have your European passport, it's hopefully less.
Yeah, everything is more stable now.
Yeah, because that was mean and hard for many years.
Yeah, and I think that people who are applying for visas now, like my first visa I applied for 7 years ago, when I was applying for my visas, everything was original copy, paper only. Okay, now you can submit everything online, you could submit copies of things. I remember summers at home, like everybody just crying, trauma, running
Finding
around.
paper.
So traumatic. But yeah, no, now things have really settled. Fatima says, your mom looks just like you. So beautiful.
We look similar.
Do you think so?
I sometimes.
But I would be lucky if I look like you.
I would be lucky
when I'm your age. My mom has a very petite, model-like figure. I have a little bit of a bigger build. Okay, Myra says, what is your mom's favorite board game?
So many choices. Currently, my party game is Codenames. Love Codenames.
I love Codenames.
Yeah.
I love it.
And my quiet game is Rummy Cub. Or Rummy Q, or whatever you guys call it.
I love it. In France, we call it Rummy Cubus.
Rummy Cubus.
Yeah, but I love it. Oh my gosh.
Good for two people. You know, quiet game.
At Christmas, we played it with Jean, his dad, and his brother.
Ah.
It was nice. But Jean and I also played.
I love playing euchre with, like in a party situation too, though. I love euchre.
I've been trying to organize euchre parties in France since I moved to Paris.
No one knows what euchre
is. But
it's
hard to get French people to commit to a card game party. Myra also says, what does your mom do for work? And I think it's
covered.
It's covered, but I will say that I think I'm very excited for you. And I think that my mom as a real estate agent, like I think that's a great match for you. And I also think that you'll do very good. It's only recent for my mom. She only recently started it, and I will link everything down below.
I've had my license since you were born. Because when you were born, I got my license.
Yes.
Because I was at home and I had some time to study things. So I got my license a long time ago. But
this is the first time you're
only now able to spend the time.
Yeah. And I think that when it comes to real estate, it's very easy, or at least you hear a lot of stories about people getting scammed or like kind of sketchy deals or whatever. And I just think that because you are so hardworking, you're so honest and thoughtful, I really think you would be a great real estate agent.
Thank you. Thank you so much, honey.
I know you're going to succeed. And if you're looking for a real estate agent... Okay, next question is from Hannah Flana. And she says, what is the best dessert?
In Canada?
Oh, yeah, Eskimo. What's the best dessert in
Well, it's
Canada?
so funny because yesterday we didn't bake. We bought a butter tart and an Nanaimo bar because this is like the big Canadian debate. What's the most Canadian dessert, Nanaimo bar or butter tart? So we have both.
I love butter tarts.
Yeah, I think butter tarts might be my fave too.
Yeah. And when I was in university and I was doing my grocery shopping, because I didn't do university in Toronto, I did it in Ottawa, the Nanaimo bar packs would go on sale and there'd be these huge, like 9x9 tins. I would buy them and eat them straight up. Like they were Nanaimo bars, and you cannot find Nanaimo bars in France.
But you can find butter tarts.
Oh, rarely.
Oh, really? Okay.
Rarely, and they're not good. They are not good. Okay, so Joie and Travel says, best place for a night out with your mom.
Oh. Well.
What do we like to do together, Ma? There's so many
Well,
things.
I know. We love playing tennis together. We love, I love going to the theater. I'm not sure how you feel about that. We've done the theater together a bit.
Here's the thing. When I come home, we do a lot of active things where you can maybe do an activity, but also talk, right? Like we did, for example, sorry, I'm leaving on you, but
No, it's okay. I just was...
So for example, yesterday we did the
ice wine.
The Ice Wine Festival in Niagara. So it's an activity, it's a Canadian activity, but we can spend time together and talk. Whereas the theater, I'm more like, we have to sit and watch. Because we have done Stratford, which is great, but you like don't talk through it.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I would say also two things. Number one, both me and my mom, I think, are very flexible people.
Yes.
It's more about who you're spending time with than what you're doing. Like, I'll do anything if I'm spending it with
And what they want to do. So we're like, sure.
Yeah, but we do a lot of, like, in the winter skating.
Oh, yeah.
I really want to do a hike.
Oh, yeah. Hiking, skating, huge. Definitely nice dinners. Like dinners either that we make or go out. Always games.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Yes. And I didn't realize that people weren't as, because even when I was a kid, we would do, like Friday night, we'd have maybe pizza and a movie or pizza and Monopoly. And we've just always played board games our whole life. And then now that I'm an adult, my instinct is when I go to someone's house, oh, you want to play a board game? And people are like, no. Like,
I know.
no. But,
we have games friends and we have non-games friends. So
yeah, we're a board game family for sure. Okay, and then last question is from MSKS Kemi, and she says, how would you describe your relationship with your mom? Excellent. Excellent.
Oh, I thought you were saying excellent question.
No, I would say, I don't know, how would you describe it? You're better at English than I am.
Okay. Like, I think we are totally on the same plane. So when we do get together, like we go right back into, enjoying each other's company and doing, I always count on when Arielle comes home, like she's my right-hand man for throwing a party. So we always throw a party. And for obviously doing the things we've talked about, being super physically active and doing things outside, having great food, having great evenings together, just like being social all the time. Like we're both really social.
I think we're very similar personalities, Ma.
Yeah, very extroverted.
Yes, extroverted, social, and also, like hostesses. You're always a hostess. I love to be a hostess, and then when we're together, we are the elite hostesses.
I don't know about that, but we try.
Yes. So I'd say it's great. I would say, yeah, I was definitely a problematic teenager.
No, you weren't problematic.
But now in life, like now as an adult,
you came of age during technology's sort of explosion.
Yeah.
So most people today, like their kids immediately get phones and things, but Arielle came of age just at the time when cell phones weren't that common. And so we were old school. We held back on like letting her engage in stuff like technology so quickly. And as a result, it caused friction, which it did for a lot of families who went through that turnover, you know?
Yeah, it was definitely mixed. At school, there were people who had phones right away. And then I don't know when I had my first phone, but I
think it was grade 10.
I have no childhood memories of having a phone. But I do remember, like going to school and other people texting and me feeling like excluded. And I'm not talking like iPhones, like flip phones, but people would use the do you know what it was called? T24?
I don't know.
I don't know, the texting on a flip phone, and like, yeah, it's easy to feel excluded. But anyways, yeah, I see what you're saying. And I also just think that generally when you're a teenager, you like, don't know, even now. Now I'm like, I know what I'm doing. But when you're a teenager, everything's like all over the place. So anyways, I do remember being like, you know, having ups and downs when I was a teenager. But no, now I appreciate both you and Dad. I value everything that you guys taught me. I really see a lot of myself, of you and me. Sorry, I see like a lot of good qualities that you gave me.
Aw, thank you. That's wonderful.
So it's appreciative. And I mean, there's a reason that I spent like most of my vacation time coming home. It's not because it's a chore for me. Like I really I love spending time with
That's
you.
fantastic.
And on that happy note, we can end this podcast. Thank you very much for being on the Get the Margarita podcast.
It was a pleasure, and I hope that your ratings don't plummet with this podcast.
Oh my gosh,
Sorry.
no,
Sorry.
you guys, absolutely not. Let us know what you think down below. And I'm here for a couple more days, so.
Oh my gosh, yes.
We've
got all that skating, eating, drinking, game playing to go.
Yeah. And.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
And probably a family get together too.
You guys have to stay tuned. I am doing a little vlog, so you guys can look forward to that. But yeah, thank you, Mom. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you again for submitting questions. Honestly, I really appreciate it. And I will keep doing that on Saturday. So if you guys have anything else you want to ask, you can do it next Saturday. But yeah.
All right.
Thank you for watching. And I'll see you guys in the next one. And the way I sign up, you can sign up with me.
Okay.
You go like this.
What?
Ready? Not yet.
Okay.
Ready? And I'll see you guys in the next one.